I'm Lee Spence with the Racing Boys. I'm here with Randall Burnett. You guys are entering this weekend with a 51-point advantage over Christopher Bell. Did you ever expect this far into the season you guys would be sitting on top of the world like that?
Well, no, we've had a really good consistent run here, especially the last few weeks. So it's just kind of panned out for us. We put a lot of top fives together in a row now, and had a good streak of them, like 10 in a row earlier this year, and just kind of, just being there at the end, just gathering all the points you can and just being consistent's been the name of the game for us. So we'll see.
Tyler Reddick has just surprised so many people. He's consistent even when he has a bad day. I mean, Bristol was one of the most remarkable runs I've ever seen there. How he came back and just never give up kind of attitude. What has impressed you most this first year together?
Well, the never give up attitude for sure. Like we'll have a problem, say we'll have a problem on pit road or something like Bristol where we got to start the back, and he just kind of rolls with the punches and makes the best out of the situation and doesn't get down, doesn't beat anybody down. Like, he's always been upbeat and positive, and I think that's what helps the most, especially when it comes to myself and the guys on the team. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we had to go call him and say, hey, you got to start the back at Bristol and you got to do a pass-through. We're going to start you a lap down, basically. And he's like, okay, we'll figure it out, So to have that kind of confidence and that kind of resilience in a driver is pretty remarkable, and I think it's been showing all year. Like we've got down and we've got behind, and even on our bad days we've managed to turn in a bad run into a top 5 finish somehow. So I credit that to him a lot.
I listen to your camaraderie on the radio, and you guys just have a blast. I mean, you guys seldom get down, you guys seldom yell. I mean, there's so much consternation sometimes between the radio communication. You guys are having fun. How do you keep the brevity? How do you keep it so light?
Well, we just hit it off really good together at the beginning of the year, and it's a high-pressure situation for everybody in the garage. It's a performance-based industry, and so we all know that going in, right? So to agonize on that and to, agonize on things that are sometimes out of your control or whatever, and it's not our style. We just kind of roll with it and try to make the best out of a bad situation or whatever, or even we just like having fun. Like we like cutting up, we joke around a lot, and it just keeps everything light, keeps everybody focused, and keeps everybody on the team positive.
You're a native St. Louis, and like I am, you grew up there. Did you go to Lake Hill Speedway at all where you were growing up, or what was your first introduction to racing?
Yeah, so Lake Hill was a little bit before my time. My dad had actually went to Lake Hill several times, and it was 10 minutes from where I grew up. I grew up in Fenton. It was in Valley Park area, so I grew up going to places like Peevely, Granite City, or Tri-City, St. Charles Speedway that's no longer there. That's where I first started racing, with St. Charles Speedway, just racing go-karts there. So that's the kind of places I went to. Like Lake Hill was kind of underwater, like before I kind of realized what was going on with the racing scene and all that. So my dad always got me into go-karts at a very young age, and we had a lot of fun racing around St. Louis, Springfield, Illinois area, all over there, and just kind of grew up doing it.
You came from dirt. Your driver came from dirt. I got to tell you, he surprised people at the championship last year at Homestead, and I'm sure you watched that run and what he was able to do. And if it comes down to that again, you know what you have to deal with. I mean, right now it looks like it's going to be you guys. It'll be Bell again. It'll be Cole Custer. Cole Custer's had a phenomenal run at that track in the past. What is it that gives you confidence that Tyler will go in there and just kind of do Tyler things?
Well, he does a phenomenal job of finding speed or making speed out of the car. If he's struggling where somebody else is running, he'll go where they're not and try to find speed. So he does a great job, and I think it comes a lot from his background of just being able to adapt to a situation and trying to make speed wherever it may come. I mean, Darlington last weekend was a good example of that, as he he couldn't run up in the rubber as good as some other guys, so he kind of moved around, made something work for himself, and we had a great run out of it. And he covers us up a lot of times in that situation. He does a great job, and he, like I said, he's very resilient and very capable of doing those kinds of things. So, it's going to be interesting. Like they say we're going to be there. They say Cole Custer's going to be there. They say Christopher Bell's going to be there, but anything can happen. I mean, Christopher had to win at Phoenix or he was out last year, so anything could happen in a chase and anybody can get in. So that's the unique thing about it, and that's the challenging thing about it every week. But we're just going to keep building on our program. I feel really good about the chase races. I feel like a lot of them, are kind of more our strong suit. So we're excited about that, and we'll see what happens when we get to Homestead, where we're at and who we're racing and what's going on.
That 51 points, though, and the bonus points, it's nice cushion you guys have built.
Yeah, like I said, we've had a strong year. We're focusing on winning that regular season championship. That's our main goal the next 2 weeks is just make sure we don't put ourselves in a bad situation and give those points back to Christopher or even Cole at that point. So we're just going to keep building on it and see what happens, and hopefully have a good run this weekend, and really excited about getting back to Vegas. We had a great run earlier this year, almost won that race. Was racing really hard with Christopher and Kyle Busch there, so really excited to get back there, and we'll see what happens.
A lot of people don't know about your brother and his involvement in racing, too, with Millbridge Speedway, and what really pressed him to do that? Because for everybody around the Mooresville, Concord, Charlotte area, it's kind of become that go-to place where kids kind of cut their teeth in dirt.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm really proud of him and sister-in-law Ashley and everything they've done up there. Growing up, my dad kind of got us both involved in racing. My dad had started a go-kart business in St. Louis and kind of was like the local parts house in St. Louis, and that kind of helped fund my go-kart racing. And Jeremy was never really wanting to drive. Like, he took his hand at driving a couple times, and he's just like, I don't think it's for me. And I think he kind of got the business side of stuff from Dad, and Dad had built a track in St. Louis because we didn't have nowhere to race at one point. So him and the guys from the St. Louis Karting Association built a racetrack there for us to
Where was that?
It was right off Telegraph Road. It was Widman Raceway Park in St. Louis. It was a little asphalt road course that we grew up racing at, and it was really cool. The St. Louis Karting Association had funded a lot of that, and Dad and a bunch of guys from St. Louis put that deal together. And Jeremy really took to that. He kind of took that side of the racing industry, and like he saw an opportunity up at Millbridge, and they've built that place into a phenomenal, like, from what it was when he got it to where it's at now, and all the events and all the support he gets. It's amazing to see. So really happy about that, and to keep them, they keep going and getting it bigger every year. So it's really cool just to, both of us kind of went down separate paths and are, been fortunate enough to make good careers out of what we're doing and having a whole lot of fun doing it.
Well, I wish you luck in the playoffs once they get here, and I wish Jeremy luck because there's nothing better than keeping the grassroots of racing going.
Yeah, he does a phenomenal job of that, and there's a lot of guys. Heck, Chase Briscoe's raced my kart out there. Reddick raced out there. Before I even knew Tyler, he knew my brother and was racing out at Millbridge, and Larson and all them guys go out there. There's been so many guys that have raced out there and just went out and supported that deal, and it's really cool to see.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Lee.